A few weeks ago, I made a video about how I met Kevin and how we spent a whole day together on a plane. Well, I spent over 4 hours talking to him, and I only had about 5 minutes worth of talking on the last video. So on this video, we're gonna go through all kinds of other stuff we talked about. There's literally so much value in all the conversations I had with Kevin, so I wanted to make sure you saw a lot more of it and enjoy it.
So the three things that I'm really into is I've been doing business for the last 30-some years. I have tons of businesses, made over $100 million, right? But I have tons of real estate. But like the main thing I've been focused on lately is my YouTube channel. Like I started like 7-8 months ago.
Yeah.
And so I've been checking yours out. It's awesome. I mean, obviously almost 2 million subscribers now, and you're posting a crazy amount of content. So I was just wondering how you get the time to post that much content.
Yeah, so I mean, when we fly, I'll do research, or I'll do it early in the morning. But generally, my schedule is wake up somewhere around 2:54-ish, try to be researching by 3, and then I'll go live by 4:30 or so, producing content
In the morning?
Yeah, and then my goal is to be done with YouTube essentially by 8. So then that way, the rest of the day I can spend doing whatever I need to do, whether that's the house hack, or it's team building, hiring people, business needs, whatever. I could do that during that time. And segmenting that has really helped, for me at least. So, because otherwise I get stressed of like running around all day long, always thinking about YouTube. It's a little stressful.
So how did you get from like where nobody knew you were on YouTube to like blowing up? What was that key?
Well, finance, 300,000-400,000 subscribers before the pandemic, but everybody got really interested in finance during the pandemic. So obviously the pandemic helped. Now, where the problem is, finance goes in cycles on YouTube. Probably aligns much with the market, but now it's a lot harder to start in finance, just because we're kind of on like one of those down cycles. But it'll come up again. And so my thesis is always just keep grinding, no matter what the cycle is doing, whether it's a great time or a bad time. Just keep grinding, post. And so I started just talking about real estate. Well, real estate is pretty niche on YouTube. I could do well because people who look at real estate content are, I think, smart people, and they're really gung-ho about real estate. For most people, they go in this phase of being interested in real estate, and you kind of have to capture them in that phase where like they're getting educated about real estate, but then if they buy, they're done. Often, I mean, people usually aren't buying multiple properties. The people actually buying multiple properties, small percentage of people.
I do more business than real estate. So I started my first business when I was 15.
Well, that's awesome. When'd you start at 15?
So I collected sports cards my whole life, and when I was 15, I started selling them.
Yeah.
I grew that to a big business, and then just went from business to business.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's really cool.
So basically, like I said, about 8 months ago, I started really doing a lot more social media, because that's the one thing I screwed up on and I wasn't doing a whole lot of.
I don't really like social media either.
Yeah.
Like, I know that sounds crazy, but when I started in real estate, everybody's like, oh, you got to be posting on Instagram or TikTok or this, that, or whatever. I'm like, I don't really want to. I like providing value, and so it ended up working out. That's just what I try to do every day is, hey, if I can give people value, then it's win-win. They win, I win, right? But the actual like concept of social media, I never personally really liked. So I kind of feel like I fell into it.
But it's about 8 months ago, I hired a few people to just do social media. So like I have Shema and a few other people in the office all day. We just shoot content and post videos, and I'm always buying and selling businesses, running businesses and real estate, and so we capture a lot of that.
You did Gary Vee,
Yeah.
That's really cool. What are your main businesses right now? Is it related to real estate?
A lot of entertainment concepts. This is what over the last 5-6 years, probably the last 7-8 years, I got really big in entertainment. So I have like a lot of axe throwing locations, escape rooms, arts and craft studios, putt mini golf, like really high.
It's wrong. Escape rooms is so in right now.
I was one of the first ones in the country to do it back 8 years ago.
Whoa!
And I have like 16 locations. I sold some of them during the pandemic, but I still have some. But yeah, I'm actually opening up new entertainment concepts all the time.
So treat a business by starting like partnering on buying these locations, or how does we
basically go out and find deals, and then we negotiate them with the sellers. So we find motivated sellers, just like in real estate, that are retiring or being divorced or saying all these million different things, and they're ready to sell their business. So we figure out a win-win situation. We basically get them to owner finance a bunch of it. We figure out other ways to come up with the rest of the money. Sometimes I partner with them. Sometimes buy them ourselves, but most of my businesses I do to partners. It's just easier because once you get to the level you're at, you just want to do what's fun for you. Yeah, like you don't throw shit up and ask, but you don't enjoy it. That went and true. Yeah. Right? Well, I'm all of it. So there's something that you have to enjoy. You have someone else doing. So civic. So I have partners that enjoy. When I don't enjoy, I enjoy what they don't enjoy. So we kind of. That's all. It makes sense.
And when you say you're in the creative business, is that like creative financing in real estate, or less? Yeah, the side.
We have all different ways we go out and find people that want to sell their businesses, and mostly off market, but obviously a little bit on market. And we structure the deals to where we don't have to come up with a lot of our own money up front and then cash flow related. It's just like instead of owning a cash flowing property or apartment, we have a cash flowing business. And most single family homes in Atlanta that I have cash flow $500 a month, $600. Most of my businesses I have cash flow on tens of thousands a month. So you can just do one business deal instead of 50 single families, and you make profits in it.
Walk way through that on a deal. If you do like $500,000 business, or what are you buying it for? $50,000? What's an example?
I only target businesses that are making at least six figures. If they're making less than profit.
Okay.
Keep in mind, I have to make at least 200,000 profit.
Sure.
So I'm targeting businesses that revenue do somewhere between $500,000 to $15 million in sales a year.
Because that 100 to 200K is basically like the owner's own salary, so to speak.
Yeah, so if the owners are working the location, I don't even bother with businesses, very rarely. So like I have a bunch of criterias, but obviously it has to profit at least six figures. It has to have, long-dated seller is going to want to do something, but it has to have a management team in place. It can't have the owner. The owner can't be the one running the business because they're you're buying a job.
Yeah. That's interesting, buying a job. You're
$100,000 job. Why? So you have to have a management team, and you just got to basically cash flow. So then those are the biggest criteria.
So you buy businesses, you have a goal of finding businesses that generate 100K profit, but you don't want to buy a job, so they have to have staff in place, some systems in place. Okay, how do you buy? Do you get financing for it? And
if it's a listed business, I target people that have been listed for like 10 months plus, because then they get motivated, and then they do a lot of owner finance. So I always love going for a decent on owner finance, and then the rest of it, I come up with a bunch of different ways. So like, I just bought a company for $1.2 billion recently that I got the owner to finance $800,000. And then the $400,000, they own some property with the business, so I was able to get like a $320,000 loan for the property, and then I was able to get some private money for the $80,000, and eventually, so that's nice. So that was, but I paid $1.2 million.
Structured it as a nothing down deal, basically.
Nothing down deal by myself. The owner got $400,000 up front. That business cash flows over like close to $20,000 a month. So after I beat my debt service, all that, I'm still like at
so it's positive after all of that debt.
I'm $30,000 a month.
Yeah.
And so that's that particular deal. Another deal I bought recently that so this is what I call a bolt-on. So once I own a business, I want to buy competitors and like businesses because they don't have to be doing that good, because you could just add them onto your business. Just take their customers, take their employees, take their inventory and their equipment, and basically just add it to your existing business. So they don't have to. So that's the one exception to the they have to do six figures plus. And if it's like a business that I already have, and I could just buy their customers basically, then I'll buy. So I bought one that was a bolt-on to another business, and I paid $75,000 for it. They were super motivated. The lady was like 76 years old. She was about to retire. And that particular business, I got her to owner finance $60,000. And my $15,000, the way I came up with that was, I had a lot of the equipment and inventory that I didn't need because I already had it in my other business. So I put it on Craigslist at Amusement Park Place a month before I was closed. And I had a lot of people come look, and I had a bunch of offers. I sold like $18,000 worth of equipment that I didn't need. I used that money for the $15,000. I had a few thousand extra, and then now the owner finance sale $60,000 for 30 months. Right. That's like another example. Obviously, the main way that people do it right now is SBA loans. SBA loans, they'll give you like 90%. Sure. They'll pay the fund. I don't even qualify. You have to be like under a certain net worth and all this different stuff. But I have partners to qualify, so I'll have some partners do some SBA loans. And they take like 4 months. I mean, really, things are committed. and they are a pain in the ass, but they're good at, you have a solid business.
I mean, really what you're doing is you're giving the owners cash flow because they're financing it, but they don't have to work in the business anymore. So it's desirable to them because they're getting cash flow, where you guys are taking over the operations, so they're out of there.
But most of these people are either want to retire, divorce, sick, and the only other option is to shut it down and liquidate. They're going to get a lot less that way. Now, a lot of these people that own these businesses are really these businesses are like their families, like their baby. Like they're with their business more than they're with their family. So they don't want to shut it down. And their kids don't want to take it over. It's not a sexy business for their kids. Their kids doing something else. They're trying to sell it and nobody else wants to buy it. So it's just works for them.
I guess the risk is multifaceted, that if the business starts performing poorly, then you lose money because now it's your business.
Okay, so we do a lot of due diligence, and again, we're buying businesses that have been around for a while, so we have a good track record, and they have a management team in place that knows what they're doing, so we're not going in there and changing a whole lot. But if the business starts doing poorly, we basically give we don't give a personal guarantee for anything unless it's SBA loan. So the guarantee is the business. So in theory, the people would get the business back but I've never given a business back yet. So, but in theory, that's their collateral. But this way, if it started going bad because of something I did or something that wasn't the owner's fault, I would probably just eat it and whatever. But if they fraudulently told me information that wasn't true, I would give it back in a second. Sure.
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a car. You take out a car loan, car stops performing, you stop paying on it, no, take your car back. It's saying the same thing essentially with every business. Yeah. So really, I mean, you could just keep them as long as they're cash flowing. And otherwise, okay, like you said, you haven't given them back because obviously if you did, then that could create some potential reputational challenges.
Still, 100%. And if you do everything and the person was totally honest and everything they were supposed to do, I'm not that type of person. I'm not cool. But that's pretty much, what I teach.
So the other factor is you don't really potentially have large liquidity on these, but you don't really care about that because you just want the cash flow. It's not like you're trying to flip the business, right?
So that's not necessarily true. You could actually turn these around and sell them and make money. So when I'm buying them at 2 times multiple, 3 times multiple on the high side. If I find someone that wants them, I mean, they'll definitely pay, 3 to 4 times, usually even more, depending on how bad they want it. But my goal is to grow the higher you grow the EBITDA, the more bolt-ons you do, the multiples get higher. So instead of going for a 3, 4 times multiple, it goes for 5, 6, 7. So I mean, in theory, within a year, 2 years, 3 years, some of these businesses I sell for astronomically more than I just a day.
And these are all generally small. What's your average deal size?
My average deal size is probably a couple of bucks in it.
Yeah, that's why you're looking for that company that has 100K bottom line. You buy it for 200.
Yes.
What are your financing?
A whole bunch of those together. If I'm buying a roofing company, buy 6, 7 roofing companies, and now instead of it making $200,000 a year, I was making millions a year. Now it goes for 7, 8 years also.
Bubble them together at that. I see. That's why you were saying you could combine sort of even non-performing businesses to get that customer base.
Yes. And a lot of these businesses that aren't performing, aren't doing good, nobody can buy that business because it's not making enough as a standalone. But if you're already in the industry, you can buy them, and because you just take with good assets and leave the bad assets, you get rid of the rent, you get rid of extra employees because you don't need as many if you're just liquidating. It's selling something very profitable to the big person. So we could do a lot of those, and because they're not good to anybody else, these are the most motivated sellers that exist because they're stuck in all these. So we could buy these for all the stuff like pennies will sell, and a lot of times, no money ever. You give them a few $100, $1,000. They just don't want the grief after the other. What if it's somewhat good? We pay out a few $1,000, $5,000 up front, and then some amount over time. But those are called bolt-ons. Those are my favorite acquisitions. Everything that you're doing right now is all on the West Coast.
Yeah, it's just because I'm out here.
You do.
It'll be Utah, Arizona, or maybe Idaho, maybe New Mexico, and then Cali. However, we could structure a good blended rate of return. So that's to be attractive too. It's more challenging right now because, it's like you get 5% part of your money at Wealthfront.
why would you buy real estate at make 5%? This makes sense.
I think anybody really expects the yields to stay the way they are right now. We'll see.
Right. In Phoenix market's crazy. Like that's one of the hottest markets the last 3 years. 95% of what I buy is in Georgia, but the other 5% we're literally spread out everywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jeez.
If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know who you think I should collab with next, and I'm going to try to make that happen.